Using Google Analytics for social media metrics will help you understand where you should focus your social efforts. It will help you understand which networks convert and what content has the biggest impact. And now it's time for some more DIY SEO tips with Jennifer Regina. Posting engaging, relevant content on social media can be time-consuming. Reviewing social metrics can help you understand the social ROI. This not only can help to persuade a boss that you need to continue, but it also is a nice motivator to encourage you to keep working hard. Social media can be time-consuming, and it's nice to know if you're on the right path before you get too far. There are a couple of prerequisites that you should take care of before you can track social media metrics. So the first prereq is you need to install Google Analytics. Before you can track and review social media data in Google Analytics, you need to configure your website to use Google Analytics. And I have a guide that you can follow to get that set up. If you haven't already, I'll add the link into the show notes. And then the second prereq is to set up goals. So it'll be hard to understand if your social efforts are having a positive impact if you don't have any goals set. Make sure that you understand what your goals are for your website, then configure them in Google Analytics. Do you need to add UTM tags? So when you post links to your website on social media, do you need to include UTM tags to be able to track the data in Google Analytics? The answer is no. When a user clicks on a link from a social network, it will show in your Google Analytics data as a referral. The medium will be referral, and you can identify the network by viewing the source. The source will display as the URL. So for example, it'll be twitter.com or facebook.com. But if you use a short link such as bit.ly, then you do want to add UTM tags. If you use a URL shortener, then in Google Analytics, that visit will show as direct traffic. You won't be able to identify which social network or acquisition source generated the visit. You will also want to include UTM tags for paid campaigns. This will help you dig deeper into the performance for each campaign. It also gives you a more complete picture of the total impact social plays for your website. And anytime you add a UTM tag to a social network, make sure to use the term social for the medium tag. This will group the data in the social report along with the organic social traffic. And speaking of reports, let's discuss where you can view social data in Google Analytics. So there is a slew of social media reports under acquisition and then social. So we'll walk through these various reports and the primary benefits of each. The overview report gives you an at-a-glance recap of how social efforts contribute to the overall performance of the website. The network referrals report shows you which social networks are the most popular sources your audience uses to access your website. It's a nice report because it combines the traffic by source regardless of the medium. So organic Facebook traffic can be combined with paid Facebook traffic. And then the landing pages report lets you determine what content works best for social. Your top social landing pages may not be the same as your top Google organic search pages, so figure out what's popular and create similar content for future social campaigns. The conversions report lets you figure out what social efforts are having an impact on your goals. Often social will play a role earlier in the sales cycle. When that happens, it isn't always counted as a conversion source because it wasn't the last source that led to the conversion. You'll want to click on Assisted versus Last Interaction Analysis to get a better picture of the role social played in the conversion funnel. The plugins report shows you which social widgets on your website are utilized the most. This data is not automatically collected. You need to add events to your social plugins to track this, and Google has a guide to configure those social interactions, and that link will be included in the show notes as well. And then lastly, the user's flow report gives you a visual graph that illustrates where users went on your website when they came from various social networks. This gives you a nice idea of what type of content works best for which network. And then if those social reports don't give you the data you want, don't worry. You can use any report in Google Analytics. What you can do is create an advanced segment that targets social visitors and apply that segment to any of the other reports. So I have step-by-step directions on exactly how to create an advanced segment in that link in the show notes. So if you'd like to create an advanced segment, click on that and you can follow the steps there. And you can actually create multiple advanced segments and compare the data. So you can create one for each social network you want to monitor, or you can create one and then compare it to the default all users segment. This just makes it really easy to compare your social traffic to your other acquisition sources. And then lastly, you'll want to create a social dashboard. So once you know what social metrics you want to monitor, set up a social dashboard and make it easy to track the data. You can go to customization, dashboards, and then create, and you can follow the prompts there to create a new blank canvas and add the reports you want to monitor. If you want to monitor data from Google Analytics as well as an outside source, create a dashboard in Google Data Studio instead. Google Analytics dashboards are simple and easy to set up, and they typically get the job done. But Google Data Studio takes it to a new level by making the reports even more beautiful and integrating with many more data sources. So hopefully this makes it a little bit clearer as to what's working and what's not working with your social efforts so you can continue to optimize those campaigns. Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. This episode was brought to you by ClearPath Online, a DIY SEO tool for your website.